Oh, here she comes.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now.
Okay, good. I'm so confused. I'm
a little bit awkward.
We've not done it with videos, so I'm gonna go back and forth to the group and tag some of the people that I know.
Okay. I can hear you now.
Okay, good. Confused. All right, there we go. The echo back and forth there. Okay, let me go.
The main of video broadcasting.
So will you get the questions that people put in the comments, or they need to put the comments on the video?
Yeah, no, so the comments will actually show up on your Facebook page. So you would just ask them to comment in the Facebook post.
Okay, that's what
happens from their perspective is when they come to your Facebook group, they're going to see a picture of the video with a play button on it.
Yeah, I'm looking at that.
As soon as they hit the play button, it'll bring them live to wherever we are at the moment. It's a roundabout way. The problem is with Facebook Live, you can't do two people yet.
Yeah.
It's coming. They just announced that they're going to allow it. And you can't screen share. Well, you can, but it's a pain in the butt. It's like a lot of tech set up to do it to screen share right now, but it's possible.
I'm gonna tag Craig Carpenter. Do you know who that is?
Name's familiar.
He's the founder of Relay That, and he wants to do like a graphic class. And I was like, I don't know how we can both do it in the group until they roll out. You know.
Oh, do it this way.
So yeah, I just tagged him. I was like, hey, we can do it this way. Let's see who else said they were coming. It always takes about 10 minutes for people to.
Yeah, there is, you can use a free shareware called OBM.
What I really wanted to do, and that was going to be one of my questions for you, is I want to, when I do my webinars, I want to share them on Facebook Live.
Yep.
And I want it to actually be live, and that seems to have been it. So I have the OBM, but I could not figure out how to get it to work where it wasn't echoing my one microphone to the other. Does that make sense?
Yeah, well, the challenge is that OBM is freeware, and it's super buggy right now.
Okay.
The guys over at Liveleak are like a week away from, they're beta testing their system now, and they're launching it. You may want to take a look at Liveleak from your Facebook perspective anyway. I don't know if you saw it during the launch, what it is.
No, I don't. It sounds familiar, but it's not clicking in my head.
Liveleak is a third-party app that's specifically for Facebook Live.
Okay.
And what it will do is it's going to allow you, right now you cannot broadcast from a desktop computer. You can only do it from a phone. So that's where OBM comes in, because they built their own solution for it.
Right.
Windows 10 is going to have Facebook Live built into it. The placeholder is already there for it. However, it's not active yet because I downloaded Windows 10 just to play with it. And then I realized that it's there and it says Facebook Live, but the button doesn't work yet. So that's coming really soon in a Windows update. Liveleak came out about 2 weeks ago. And it's a piece of software that does a couple things. One, they're going to have a desktop version that's going to allow you to bypass all the crazy setup that you have to do with OBM to make it work.
Okay.
And they have their own platform for it. So it'll allow you to do desktop, which means then you can do screen share. Then you can have as many guests as you want. Then you can have multiple cameras and do all that stuff, which is like game changer right there. The other thing that Liveleak does is that it allows you to syndicate your Facebook Live. So say you have your significant business builders, and then you have your Kristi Brown fan page, and then you have your significant business fan page. You can broadcast live simultaneously in all 3 locations using Liveleak.
Nice. Okay, that will be helpful because that's what I was trying to figure out how to get around that.
Yeah, and then in addition to that, it has a chat feature, which takes the chat from all of your multiple locations and puts it into one thing. And either you can log into it and monitor that, or you can have actually a VA totally separate from you monitoring all the chats for you.
That would be helpful, yeah, because it was like way too much technology for me to try to.
Yeah, it's a nice little piece of software. Anyone who's looking to like build themselves with Facebook Live, which I suggest,
yes,
would be, it would behoove you to take a look at that. Either now, now it's during launch period, so you can buy it outright, but after that, it's going to be available for a monthly fee. So I'm in one of the testing groups for it, and right now it just came out, so there's a little bit of things that they're working on, but they're working on it. They're the only company that got approved by Facebook to build the platform this way.
That's the OBM one?
The Liveleak one.
Oh, okay. Okay. Let me see. Somebody's asking me questions.
Like $200.
That's not too bad. Were you invited to the testing?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm doing the Instagram for business testing, and I'm not impressed at all.
Yeah.
And I want to be, like I really want to be like, oh, it's really cool. It's no.
Yeah, YouTube put out some stuff, and I was looking at it, and I was like, no. I'm like, you're gonna scare people if you release it like that. It's not pretty.
Sarah just asked you, can you tell me what it was again that you're using that will let you broadcast in the 3 places?
Yeah, I'll type it into the chat for you.
Let's see. Okay.
Yeah, it's Liveleak. Liveleap.
Oh, okay. I wrote it down wrong too. I'm glad Sarah asked.
Yeah. It's all in there. I put a link in the thing for you.
Yeah, so
not an affiliate link, so enjoy.
What did you say?
I said it's not an affiliate link, so enjoy. Facebook actually blocked the affiliate links. They another lesson in affiliate marketing is they used
I have a client that made money on posts, and he's been doing some affiliate stuff, and he has had a hard time now that Facebook has figured out that he was doing affiliate stuff.
Yeah, so these guys were using I forgot what affiliate management software to manage their launch, and Facebook completely blocked them in the middle of their launch. So even if you typed out like space live leap space.com, it was still picking it up and blocking it.
Oh wow, that's crazy.
It was bad. And you tried to private message someone, you tried to post on Facebook, anything, it was just done. It was toast. I mean, nothing. Links, even redirects were being blocked. Even redirects from private domains were being blocked. Yeah. So yeah, that's Facebook crazy. Is not like affiliate stuff.
Yeah, which is crazy because you'd think that they would probably benefit if affiliate marketers actually paid for Facebook ads, but I guess they see the end user as a client, not the person paying for the ads. So kind of. Sarah asked, do you have to have a verified account in order to use Liveleak?
So not necessarily verified. The only thing that I had to do to turn it on was log into my Facebook account. And then I had to allow the Liveleak app to connect to my Facebook account. and approve all of that. And then the way that it works is you just go into your Facebook account and log in, and then Liveleak will pick up that you're live. So it's not, it's an app that gets installed into Facebook.
Okay, that makes sense. Okay. Yeah, because I know when Facebook Live first came out, that confused everybody that you had to have a verified account, but that's not the case anymore.
Now, I have some people that still cannot get Facebook Live.
Yeah, I do too, but I can't figure out why. And I've even contacted, I have several contacts over there, and I've even contacted people, and
they don't know. Yeah, it was just a null answer. I had someone today who came in, and she's doing a launch, and we did this Facebook Live strategy. And then we uninstalled the app, reinstalled the app, did an Apple iOS update on her phone, and still nothing.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
that's crazy. What, I have a couple of questions that people sent me that knew that they couldn't be here live. So let me pull those up.
Awesome.
How long should you do Facebook Live or any of the live videos to get the most traction? Periscope, YouTube, etc.
Awesome. Well, Facebook Live does have a limit. It's 90 minutes. I did not know that. Yes, 90 minutes is the cap for a live broadcast.
Okay.
But how long you should do your broadcast really depends on your audience and the content you deliver. So here's the thing, is the longer that you're on, the more time people are going to have to respond. Like Kristi, you just said, it takes people about 10 minutes before they get in here. So you kind of have to gauge that with your audience, like, because people are getting notifications, they're showing up and things like that. So you need to get them time on camera, but then you also want to make sure that you're constantly providing valuable content and you're not wasting your time. Like I watched someone the other day who was doing a live broadcasting, very, very well-respected video marketer. And he was sitting in his car going, well, I'm just waiting for some people to show up. So while I do, I'll sing you a song. And then he was like driving in his car and flipping through the radio and talking about absolutely nothing or nonsense. And it was like, as an audience participant, I felt disrespected because he was like, well, we're waiting for some more people to show up. And I was like, well, what am I, chopped liver?
Yeah, here, right,
I don't want to listen to you sing in your car. I came here because you promised in your subject line that this is what you were going to talk about. And now I just sat here for 15 minutes wasting my brain cells on your silly song. So it's annoying, and my respect level, my relevancy level for that one marketer is like negative after that one Facebook Live. So it's really, you know, the length depends on your audience and what you're teaching. Can you do an effective Facebook Live broadcast in 5 minutes? Absolutely, if you provide content that's really direct. You know, I've seen some people on there that are, like there's one girl, and every day at 6 o'clock, she jumps on and she does a style tip, and she's pledged that she's going to do that every day for 30 days. Well, she's winning in that sense because ahead of time, she's let you know when she's going to be on. So
right.
She's consistent. She let you know that her broadcast is going to be exactly 10 minutes. So she's planning ahead for her content that she's going to provide and not wasting anybody's time. And she's telling you exactly what she's going to be offering you in those 10 minutes. So whether you choose to join her live to ask Q&A with her, or whether you choose to watch the replay later, she won. She did the right strategy for her broadcast.
At Social Media Marketing World, a lot of what training was about video. I think I told you that some of it was so far above my head, like you had to be like a professional videographer to understand half of what they were talking about. But what I did think was interesting was that they were like, you know, you need to be on between 10 and 12 minutes. And what I found from my audience is I start to lose people at that point. Like they'll jump on for 10 minutes, but entrepreneurs, which are my audience, they don't have a whole lot longer than that. They'll waste about that, you know, to see what you're talking about. And then they'll come back and watch the replay. I get a ton of views on the replay. But if it's longer than 10 to 12 minutes, I tend to lose people versus gain people. So I think that's right on as far as it's your audience and not really the like set templated time frame. Like everything on social media, it's all about your target market, right?
Yeah, you know, and it's just the same, like a lot of skills in webinars and sales presentations from the stage are going to come into play over who's successful or not with their live broadcast, because there's a thing called sales stacking where you start out by providing tremendous value to hook them in, so then they want to stay and pay attention. Then you do a little bit of Q&A, and then you do a little bit, but then at the end you still promise them that you have more to deliver, more value, so that way it's going to keep them on longer. But if you start singing a song and talking about your mom and all that stuff, people don't care about that. I mean, that's the ultimate joke about social media is I don't freaking care what you had for lunch.
Right. Yeah,
Nor do I want to see it on video now.
Yeah, and the amount of people that are still, using it for that is crazy. Sarah has another question, and then I've got two more that people sent. Do you recommend an application or a plugin that will post Facebook Live videos to your website automatically when you go live? I've only seen one, and I didn't know if there were more out there to compare it to.
Yeah, that's exactly what Liveleak was built for. So the other part of Liveleak is the syndication. So it connects to your LinkedIn, it connects to your Twitter, and it connects to your email account, and it also connects to a texting account. So when you go live, it will trigger an email. If you choose to set that up, it will trigger an email. It'll post to your LinkedIn, it'll post to your Twitter, and it will also text your list if you have a text list as well, and let them know that you're live and you're broadcasting. And if they happen to miss it, then the replay will work on that link.
I'm gonna dance here. Okay, yeah. So real quick, this question that I've got is, I'm not very polished on video, but it seems like that's what people are wanting with live broadcasts, not the professional polished $5,000 video. Do you agree?
Yes, it has been a shift in that for a very long time. That's been long coming. So years ago, when I started with video, you had to have the studio and the lights and the backdrops and the setup and all of that stuff. And all of that stuff still has its place today. Like if you're doing a high-end coaching program and you just jump on and film all these videos with your phone, out in your car.
That's what we work with you for.
Yeah, it's going to be creepy when you're charging someone $5K, for a coaching program. But, relaxed, real. What we're looking for here is we're replacing the character conversation. We're replacing typing. We're looking for a deeper connection in our social media, because you have to admit there's a gap. There's a huge gap in our social abilities at this time, because it's like, oh, a real person. There they are. So when you set yourself up and it's too polished and it's too edited and it's too cut, and you can tell that like your lips are moving but the sound was cut out because you messed up what you were saying kind of video, that doesn't do anybody any good. People are looking for that one-on-one real conversations, which is what's been missing for a long time. And I think the technology is now finally catching up with us for that.
Yeah, that's a good point. Sarah asks,
yeah, she has a couple questions in there I think we skipped over.
Let's see. Do you recommend an application or plugin that will post live videos? So that was Liveleak.
Yep.
I've only seen one. So are there more than Liveleak that you know of that are out there?
Liveleak is the only one that has been approved by Facebook, as far as I know.
Okay. And then she says, does it post like a blog on a WordPress site?
Does it actually post? From Facebook Live, I have not seen anything yet that posts directly to a blog. However, there is a software out there called IFTTT, if this then that, which is a free software, and you can create, I'm assuming, a recipe where you can see, if there was a Facebook post, then you can take that and create it to a blog. So there's different ways that you can do things. And Liveleak, they cover some of that in the training. And I sound like a Liveleak sales call today. I don't mean to. It's just that they came out with a lot of answers to the challenges of why I haven't been so enthusiastic about live broadcasting until they fixed some of these things. But really, there's other things out there. Like one of the things that I really suggest for you guys is that I love video. And Facebook Live right now is where, if I was going to have a bunch of eggs and I was going to put them in one or two baskets, I would put a lot of eggs in Facebook's basket for live broadcasting right now, over Periscope, over Blab, over the other stuff that's there, because Facebook is where the people are. I mean, why are people spending so much money on Facebook ads? Because it works, because that's where the people are. So it really is, if I was going to choose any of the live broadcast platforms right now, I would strongly take a look at Facebook, and then I would also keep YouTube in mind. And the strategy that I'm doing, and the strategy that I highly recommend for you, is broadcast live on Facebook, syndicate, meaning put your post out there as much places as you can. Please remember YouTube. The value of YouTube and putting your videos there is that YouTube is the #2 search engine in the world. Very, very highly searched for information, but YouTube is also owned by Google. So you're getting like a 3-for-1. So if you broadcast live on Facebook, then you upload your video and you put it on YouTube, you put the right keywords and the right description in on YouTube, you're going to get ranked really well on YouTube search. And you're also going to get ranked well on Google search, which is a really added benefit, because the more eyeballs you have on the videos that you're doing, the better it's going to be for you and the more return on your time and investment that you're going to have.
Yeah, I agree. I think that being able to do the videos in a bunch of different places, like I love repurposing content. For most people that are trying to grow an audience, the content creation process is such a chore. So being able to put it in a bunch of different places and increase that visibility without having to do it all over again and come up with a whole different topic and all that, I think is really appealing. And then it also works. So it's not just like I'm gonna post my Instagram to Twitter, which doesn't really work. It's actually something that helps your visibility and works as far as getting your name out there. So I love that. Let's see. So this is a great question. Kristen asks, and I actually have two other clients I just tagged. How do you get over your fear of doing video? You have some great tips for this. I'll remember you walked in and I threw some of these. We did our videos with you.
Yes. So, fear, we'll start with false evidence appearing real. So, it's really about you and you making a decision of whether you're going to do it or not. Did you ever have an experience where you just kind of came in and was like, just whatever, I'm just going to do it, and you just make it happen? So if you sit there and you focus on, I suck on camera, I look like this, I need to lose 10 pounds, my hair's frizzy today, blah, 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 I forgot to brush my teeth, whatever, whatever you got going on in that monkey brain up there, it's always going to hold you back until you decide that it's not. So it's up to you to make that shift and that change. There are things that you can do to help. So if you understand how the psychology of the brain works, in that our brain is hardwired to protect us from dangers. And, it comes from the primal instinct. When we were cavemen and we were hanging out, there was real freaking dangers. There was, tigers and all kinds of things. And I want to say dinosaurs, but they weren't at the same time. Unless you
Good idea.
But it really is, when you were in the cave, you had serious dangers that you had to watch out for. As we've evolved, we don't have those type of dangers anymore, but yet our brain still triggers that, hey, this is something kind of new that we haven't done before. I don't really know what this is. It's kind of feel uncomfortable. And then you get those uncomfortable, swirly feelings, and everybody processes it differently. Some get an upset tummy, some sweat, some shake, some, all those things. So as your body is processing this new emotion, it's feeling out whether it's danger or not. And that's exactly what your brain is supposed to do. So when we have camera and video and, oh my gosh, people are looking at me, oh, I've got to kind of back up and step away from that. That's what's occurring in that situation there. So that's called your monkey brain or your primal brain. So what you need to do is really take a look at how we're going to turn that off. And there's some people who can just say, I'm going to throw it in the chuck it bucket and I'm just going to move on and get it done. And those people, we don't have to do a lot of help with, because they can just do it. And that's fine. But not everybody's like that. So when we understand that our brain is blessing us with, hey, this is something new, I'm not really sure if it's right, do we need to check this out, is it dangerous, is it going to come after me, we understand that that's our primal brain. So one of the things that we can do to shut that off is understand that our brain is actually only able to process one emotion at a time. So if we think about it, if we have a fear and gratitude cannot exist in the same space in our brain. We can't have two emotions. Certain people, maybe they do. I mean, I've seen some people rapid cycle through some things a little faster than most, but that is still processing one emotion at a time. And that's how your brain works. So what we can do is something that I learned from Tony Robbins. And if you go to YouTube, there's actually a really great video of Tony on the Oprah show where he's talking about the gratitude flood. So if you go to YouTube and you search for Tony Robbins Oprah gratitude flood, the video will come right up. It's like 5 to 7 minutes long. And it's amazing because it's going to take you through this process that's really simple, where anytime you're feeling the disconnect, the fear, the whatever is stirring you in an emotion, and that's not the emotion that you want or the emotion that's best serving you at that time, what you can do is do what he calls a gratitude flood, which is to basically just close your eyes and think about all the things that you're grateful for. And it doesn't have to be big, huge stuff. It can be things like, oh my God, I am thankful I got out of bed and somebody made coffee this morning. I mean, it really can be as simple as that. But having that gratitude and flooding yourself with those steps of gratitude, what that does is it pushes the other emotions out because your brain can only handle one emotion at a time. So it puts you back in the driver's seat of that monkey brain and then gets the video done. So I use that exercise every single time that I film. There's 2 things that I do before I film. I do a gratitude flood where I think about all the things that I'm grateful for. And then I think about who my ideal client is and exactly who she is. I even have a name for her, my ideal client. Her name is Susie Strongheart. So I actually have a conversation with Susie Strongheart and explain to her how I'm going to help her and serve her. And I do those 2 little quick things, and it takes about a minute to do every time before I film in front of the camera, because it changes my whole state and my whole energy, and it allows me to better serve the people that I'm here to serve.
That's awesome. I think one of the things that you said that Dan talked about later on, him not feeling super comfortable on video, was about like really grounding yourself. And then when you do mess up, to kind of shake it off, walk away, and not like force yourself through it.
Yeah.
Depending on, I think, your personality, if you do that, like forcing yourself through, it's so obvious to people that that's what you're doing. Whereas if you do this gratitude, you know, and kind of go into it like you're having a conversation and you're very fluid and yourself, it really reads totally different on video. And unlike a lot of other areas, it's hard to fake if you're not in that right mindset, I would say. Yeah, it's kind of like, do you ever get really pissed at someone and then you wrote an email and then you read it like 10 minutes later and you're like, oh crap, I'm so glad I didn't send that. Yeah, I actually have a habit. I'm a big history buff, and Benjamin Franklin, when he died, they found a desk full of letters, and that's what he would do. He would, when he was upset with someone, he would sit down and write a letter and then seal it and never send it. And so all these people got angry at him after he died because they got to read what he really thought. But I do that in emails all the time. I have thousands of drafts saved over the years where I write them out and never send them. So it's kind of the same, that, you know, where you're like, that's not how I really felt. It's just I was having a moment, and video picks up these moments.
You decided to change your state.
Right. Yes. Yes. Okay. Let's see if we have any. Oh yeah, we did miss one from Sarah. She said that she found one WordPress plugin that will post your live Facebook as soon as you go live on your WordPress blog. What's the name of that, Sarah? If you want to share that, Jessica may have heard of it. Otherwise, it might be helpful to have it. And I did post the link to the YouTube video for the gratitude flood that Jessica was talking about. So that's in the thread too.
Awesome. Yeah, I haven't seen one for Facebook Live. I have one that I use called Simple Live Press. And that one is from YouTube to my blog. So whenever I upload a new video to YouTube, it goes over, writes a blog post, embeds the video in the blog post, and it actually takes all of my optimized content from when I uploaded my video to YouTube and moves it over to the blog post for me. So if I wrote a great description that had good keywords and good links and good call to actions and all of that from my YouTube, I don't have to recreate that work. It actually takes it from my YouTube and puts it back in the blog, and that's Simple Live Press.
What's it called?
Simple Live Press.
I'm gonna make a little, I would go back and list everything that you've suggested.
That's free. No, it's not. I think it's like $27, $47. It's not that much.
Okay. The other question I have is, when you do a Facebook Live, people keep hearing about how you can download the video and put it other places. I know that you can edit the video and change the thumbnail. At least you can on your page. I haven't figured out how to do it on your group yet, so you might want to tell me if you can do that. But is there a way to download it and then upload it to YouTube, or how do you repurpose the content from Facebook Live?
There's a setting to save it to your phone, and then from your phone you would then upload it to YouTube or wherever you want to go.
On Android and an iPhone, or just iPhones?
I'm assuming Android. I have an iPhone, and I know it's there for the iPhone.
Okay, I'll have to look, because a couple of people have mentioned that and I haven't been able to find it on Android. If I find it, I'll do a little video. Ironically enough. To macro conversations here. Okay, so Sarah said it's simple social press. Okay.
You know, it's interesting with our generation. I have a 7-year-old, and the other day he asked me something, and I was like, "Oh, honey, I don't know." And I was driving. I'm like, "I don't know the answer to that." And he looks at me and he goes, "Well, can't you just Google it?" I'm like, "I'm driving."
Yeah, Mom.
You know, you had to like go to the library, or you know, like,
yeah,
or buy
it out the encyclopedia. Yeah. That's funny. I think from a marketing perspective, I've said for years that Apple's genius, because the kids everything's so intuitive, and they grow up now on the iPad and the iPhone. When they get to be our age, they're not going to use anything else. It's not like PC's losing the coming generation just because of how easy their user interface is. That's crazy. I have my niece is 7, and she knows how to edit video on her mom's iPhone and send it to me for my birthday. The 3 of my nieces and nephews sang happy birthday. And when Morgan sent it to me, she sent a note that she edited it so I didn't have to hear that one of them was upset before they started singing. How's my 7-year-old niece know how to edit a video? That's crazy.
Yeah, it's serious business. When in doubt and you need videos edited for your business, ask your local neighborhood teenager.
Yes, crazy.
All for the cost of a pizza.
What for videos on your phone, I know that there's a lot of different apps that have been thrown around as far as being able to edit and making them as clean as possible. I know we talked about being raw and that kind of thing, but are there any specific apps that you recommend to put out the best videos for people so that they feel a little bit more confident that they can edit, you know, the screaming child or the barking dog out if they have to?
Yeah, you know, I have an iPhone, so I have iMovie on my iPhone. The thing with the phone is that it's a gosh darn tiny screen. So to fit a video preview and the tools that you need to edit is clunky a little bit. So I use my iPad a lot when I'm on the road to edit. There's a couple things that you could do. There's like an app that I use called Splice, which is basically just to cut things out of a video, which makes it easier. I use iMovie a lot on my iPad and on my Mac because it's simple and easy to use. And then there's a ton of other things out there that will allow you, like Magisto is a great one that allows you to do stuff. And let me see.
How do you spell that?
Magisto. So Magisto is really fun because you can take little short clips. So like I'll walk along and I'll be at a live event. And sometimes I get paid to do social media reporting for live events and things. So I'll go along and I'll do like a 30-second clip of this happening. And then I'll go over here and I'll do a 30-second clip of like this happening. And then Magisto will actually seamlessly put all the clips together, add music, animation, transitions, and all this fun stuff, and then spit it out the other end.
Nice. Okay.
So that one's really fun. And then Facebook actually just came out with Facebook Director. And currently right now it is only iPhone available. But what YouTube. YouTube has just started marketing to small businesses. And what they realized is that small businesses were having a hard time producing quality content, and more quantity of the content that they were producing was less. So while bigger businesses were doing really well with video advertising on YouTube, smaller businesses were struggling because 1, their content wasn't great, and then 2, they tended to keep their content up longer because it was time consuming for them to produce more content. They just didn't have a big budget and a ton of staff to get stuff done. So they created an app called Director, which says, these are all the videos that you should create for your business. And then it says, okay, I want to make an about me video. And then it actually tells you, go over here, set up the shot like this. Here's what you say. Now press record. And then go over here and do this and press record. And it actually walks you through step by step how to create a great video for your business with a strong marketing script and perspective to it.
Nice.
So it's a really nice tool. They just launched it last week, and it's available currently just for iPhone, but assuming that it will be coming out for Android really soon. And they also, for all of you local small business owners, they've just launched a new program that if you're interested in doing advertising on YouTube, which is kind of like Facebook ads, but YouTube ads, and if you're interested in that, YouTube will actually foot the bill and send a videographer to your place of business to create videos for your business following the director formula if you have an ad spend of $250. So for $250 you can get a videographer. I know. So that's
all right. We'll have a few clients I got to call about that one. That's crazy.
That's coming really soon. They just announced the whole infrastructure for it. It has not launched yet, but it's brilliant. It's brilliant on their part.
Yeah, and YouTube ads, I feel like are, I mean, video ads even on Facebook do better just as far as conversions go anyway, even though I feel like their analytics are a little off. But with YouTube ads, the clients that we've run YouTube ads, I feel like it's even more strategic in the types of videos you can put the ads in front of. And that really, really good ROI for the platform. Like you'd think for as big as YouTube is that it wouldn't be quite that big of a ROI for a relatively small ad spend. So I've been really impressed with the results. Have you run a lot of YouTube ads?
I have not. I was taking some studying time on YouTube ads a few months ago, and I ran across a number that said about 70% of ad space on YouTube goes unsold.
And because of that, you can actually negotiate, which is really interesting. Just like remnant space on any of the other sites, which now we're getting into marketing speak, but when an ad doesn't sell all of their space, you can negotiate because now they're not making any money. If you're offering them some money, then they're more likely to take it because they're not going to get any money unless they take it from you. So I've actually been able to negotiate really good deals on YouTube that you wouldn't think you would be able to get. But I didn't know it was that high. I thought last time I looked, it was like 55%, which is still high, but at 70%, that's crazy.
Yeah, it's like crazy high. A lot of people haven't realized, where they can market there. And it all depends, whether you're Facebook, whether you're Periscope, whether you're Instagram, you have to figure out where is your audience. It has nothing to do with who has the cheapest ads or whatever. It's figuring out where your people are.
Yeah, I thought it was interesting at Social Media Marketing World. They were talking about Periscope and how, Periscope and Blab actually really went to full market, available to everybody before Facebook Live did. But the neat thing about Facebook Live is it's where everybody already is, right? So it's interesting because I've seen Periscope and Blab. The creator, CEO of Blab was actually one of the keynotes, and they're reworking some things, very finicky, unreliable platform at this point, but they're reworking some things and they understand the idea that they probably need to turn it into an app that can be used on the other social media sites because that's where people already are. So Twitter made a mistake, in my opinion, in making Periscope separate from Twitter, but connected. So older people have no idea what you're talking about, first of all, no idea how to get on there. But you're taking people off the platform they're already on and making them go somewhere else. You're actually losing people. So I think that's confused some people. Do you think I know there are some people that are still really using Periscope and like even Social Media Examiner does a Blab show. So I know there are people that are there, but it seems like the audience is all starting to migrate to YouTube Live and to Facebook Live a little bit more. Have you noticed that?
Yeah, YouTube Live just came out. It's still a little bit in testing. It's not fully rolled out. So that is up and coming. YouTube has a very different audience than Facebook, has a very different audience than Twitter. What would really excite me and make me go all my eggs in one basket is that if they did LinkedIn Live.
And I have
happy for business to business. That would make me just thrilled, but it's not yet.
Well, I did training at LinkedIn 4 years ago or so, and so I get a lot of their internal memos. And I haven't seen anything new come through for them in a while. And I point a lot of my clients to LinkedIn, because if you're looking for people that are in the higher, income levels and stuff, LinkedIn's a great place to really be and to hang out and have conversations. And it's a different level of conversations than what it is on Facebook, depending on who your target market is. But it would be awesome if they would put video out, but I don't even think that's on their radar yet. At least if it is, they're keeping it very hush hush.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, business on Facebook has gotten better now that we have groups.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little bit more targeted, so you can go into Facebook and not read about someone's lunch or 18 million baby photos.
Right. Babies.
Yeah, babies, puppies, kitties.
Yes. I just want to see your travel photos. Stop showing me anything else. I don't care.
I don't need to see your feet in another hammock.
Yeah. No, yeah. I'm over. Yeah.
I'm working here.
Yeah. I can work from a hammock. What's your problem? No.
Yeah. So it really is. It's evolving. And rightfully so. Facebook is basically, they're trying to suck up the entire world and bring it into Facebook so you never leave. Kind of like when you go to Disney.
Yes.
Just come onto our property and you will never have to leave.
Yes, we'll make sure every need is taken care of, for sure. Okay, so I've got 2 people here just messaged me. Okay, so do you suggest going through any type of course to learn how to make videos? And do you have a app or tool that will allow me to read what I have written out? I guess like a teleprompter.
Yep. So a couple things that you can do. I'll actually show you something here. I have a setup, and I'll post it into the group. I'm going to take a picture of it now so you guys can, I'll post it in the Facebook group when we're done. But you'll see here that I have my computer monitor, and then on top of that I have my webcam, and then behind my webcam I have my tablet on a tripod. So the way that I do that is because I have my script actually runs on my tablet, but I'm looking at my web camera. So the thing is when you're using a prompter, you have to be really sensitive about how you place the text, because if the text is too close to you, then your eyes are going to go like this as you're reading, and your video is going to look really crazy like this.
Yes.
You've seen them. You know what I'm talking about.
Yes. Yep.
You really got to be cautious of that. So I'll send you a photo and show you how I set it up. So I just use a webcam and a tablet, and then the app that I use is called ProPrompter. It's $10. And it allows you, I like ProPrompter because it allows you to scroll and adjust the speed of the scroll. It also allows you to adjust the colors of the font as well as the background so that you can make it whatever works best for you. And then the nice feature about ProPrompter is that it allows you to connect it. I have it on an iPad and I have an iPhone. So if you have Apple products, it allows you to connect your iPhone to the iPad and use the phone as a remote. So I can turn the prompter speed on and off. I can stop the scrolling or start the scrolling using my phone.
So what I'm hearing is if you have an Android, you're just screwed and you need to go get an Apple. That sounds like
well,
that's what I'm hearing.
I used to have an Android because I like more tech stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, well, Apple was for sissies because it's so easy to use, and I want to use my brain and be challenged. And then I figured out that more video stuff was made for Apple, and the reason for that is because if we have 100% of the phone market, and about 50% of it is Android, and about 50% of it is Apple, and you're an accessory maker, it's more profitable for you to make accessories for the Apple because every iPhone is the same. Whereas Android has many different sizes, styles, shapes, and all of that. So the accessories have to be different to fit everyone, whereas 50% of the market is Apple, and Apple phones are all the same size. So when I learned that and realized that there was way more accessories for video for iPhone products, we switched.
Yeah. And I think the other thing too is that Apple definitely continues to innovate. It'll be interesting to see the Google phone is supposed to be coming out, I think, before the end of the year, from what I read yesterday. It'll be interesting to see what they end up flooding the market with a little bit, I think.
I think they're slow and low.
What did you say?
I think it's slow and low for them. It's going to be tough.
Yeah, but I've heard that they've got a lot of partnerships with other, big technology type companies. So it'd be interesting to see what like camera and that kind of stuff they end up coming out with. Because I like Android. Dan has an iPhone, so if I have a client, I can go back and forth pretty easily. I have an iPad, but I like Android because to me it's much more intuitive. If you had never used a smartphone before and you were going from like a BlackBerry to an iPhone, you had been lost for a very long time.
Yeah.
And so since I was one of the early adopters of a smartphone and I had the BlackBerry and I had the keyboard and all that stuff, like going to an iPhone was like, now I can use them both, but I still prefer the Android. But I like it because so much more stuff's free on an Android and it's open source. So if something is broken, it gets fixed much quicker. But I understand that Apple has their tribe. I just refuse to be part of it at this point.
It's all good.
Yes. But yeah, I think camera-wise too, the new iPhones are amazing. Like for a long time, the Androids had a much, much better camera for regular photos. I don't know about video, but for regular photos, much, much better. Now I think that the iPhone might have a beat.
Yeah, they just came out with you know how you could on your photos you could make yourself like a cat, or you could do all these overlays. They now have it for video.
Really?
It's actually really fun. Yeah. So I had an encounter with a shark.
Nice.
Like a real shark the other day, like a 10-foot.
So you can do that on Snapchat, but nobody cares about Snapchat. I don't know why. Yeah, I'm so enthralled with Snapchat, and I'm too old for it. I've got to be the oldest person on the whole platform, but I love it. None of my target market's on there. It's my play around platform, so I don't recommend it for most people because unless your target market's 18 and under, it's probably not the place for you. But they have all those overlays on there, so you can play with it on Snapchat. And you can do it for GIFs a little bit. I mean, the videos on there I think are under like 10 seconds or 12 seconds or something like that, but it's still kind of a cool. But I don't have that on my camera on that Android anyway.
Yeah, there's a new one that just came out. It's MSQRD. And it's actually pretty fun. I was playing with it. I turned myself into a shark.
It's Shark Week.
I had to explain to my son why mommy was in the water and a 10-foot shark came by and the lifeguard made me get out.
That's awesome.
Because I didn't know it was there. But I'm 6 feet tall, and yeah.
So this is a question just for me. I'm trying to do more live videos for my group and for my pages. For my content, my actual written content, webinars and stuff like that, I tend to plan in advance for all of that stuff. And I found that with videos, I typically don't. Do you recommend treating videos like any other type of content and planning ahead so you kind of know what you're talking? I tend to do better off the cuff, and I know that that's unusual, but I think maybe throwing it into an actual total content plan so that you can think about it and plan ahead is probably a better way to do it, but I wanted to get your thoughts on that.
Well, a couple of things that come into play there. The more that you tell your audience ahead of time that I'm going to be live tomorrow, and here's what you're going to get when you show up, it gives them time to plan ahead. So you'll find that if you just pop on like, hey, I'm live right now, you'll have people show up. But if you give people time to know that, hey, tomorrow at 2, I'm going to be talking about my best strategies for Facebook Live. Come and join me. It gives people the chance to get ahead and get on there and be there, or at least plan on watching the replay for it. So, it's that respect. But it's really, that's the beauty of Facebook Live is it can be either way depending on your audience and all of that. Like I do B2B, and most of my people are structured with their schedules and stuff. So for them to just be like, hey, I'm going to drop everything because Jess is live right now, isn't really going to work because that's going to get old really fast.
Yes. Yeah.
I think planning ahead, and I think, rambling and singing songs in the car isn't an effective use of anybody's time.
I got under your skin. Well, it's
because it's so common. Like, I don't care. And it's really just figuring out what can you do to best serve your audience and how can you support them. Sometimes I'll be like, oh, darn. Like the other day, one of my clients had to cancel. They had an emergency. So I literally had a 30-minute gap in my schedule. And my question to myself was, how can I best serve people in these 30 minutes? And I was like, I'm going to jump on Facebook Live in my group and say, anybody that needs any help with video, come and talk to me right now. I've got 30 minutes. And so, you know, it's really adjusting to what it is that your audience needs and could be best served with.
That's good. Yeah, I mean, I think like if you're somebody that wants to obviously type it out on a teleprompter and all that kind of stuff, then obviously you need to plan ahead. But I you know what I've noticed is a lot of people do just kind of pop on, and they kind of like what I said, they get a lot of stuff on the back end as far as people watching the replay and stuff like that, but they don't get a lot of people engaging while they're on. But I think some people like it better that way. Because if they had people asking questions and stuff like that, I think they would probably throw them off a little bit. But I just wanted to see what you thought.
Here's a cool tip. So you can set up a group and not put anyone in it. And keep it hidden and broadcast yourself there. So that nobody knows you're live and nobody gets a notification, and then put it out, share it out after that.
So is that how, so that's how people are, and I asked you this before, but I didn't follow up. So that's how people are doing a video. They're saving it to their phone. They were live, and now they're putting it on YouTube from their phone. Is that? Yeah,
that would be YouTube. But this is if you want to do like Facebook to Facebook. So right. You could have this group that has no one in it, and then you could go live in that group, and then you can share the link from that broadcast in your other places.
So if you share a link of the video of the live broadcast in other spots, people will still be able to see it without being a part of that group?
Well, yeah, because the group would be open as long as it's public.
Oh, okay, so you'd have to make the group public and then share it. Okay.
Yeah, but just don't let
I had an issue with that because I had a client that wanted to share it out. She's like, nobody can see it, but she has a closed group, so that makes sense.
Yeah, if you have a closed group, it won't show.
Okay. So you mean create a group that has nobody in it, go live, then make the group public and share the link out so that people can see it after you. So you don't have to interact with anybody. You were live, but you don't have to.
Yeah, then you're quiet. Or if you have like a dead, slow fan page, which we all usually do. Because we had this brilliant idea at one time.
Unless you're spending lots of money on ads, nobody's on your fan page.
Yeah, it's kind of like, you know, the bajillion domain names. That's a great idea.
Well, what's so funny is that you still have to have them to be able to run Facebook ads, because people are like, well, I'll just do a group. And I'm like, that's a great idea, but you can't run ads if you don't have a page. So when I went to training at Facebook, they told me that their idea with Facebook pages was to replace websites. And I laughed then and I laugh now because that's ridiculous. And now Facebook pages are going to go somewhere and die. And I keep telling people to make sure that you try to get people's emails off your page, because I don't think they're going to stay around very long. I think sooner or later they're going to let people on their individual profile run ads that don't have to be connected to a page. They can just be connected to your name or to your group. I think they're going to start to give people a choice because the pages are dead at this point.
Yeah, which is another thing too that's really important. That's one of my top 10 video mistakes that people make. That's actually number 2. Which is to do a whole bunch of broadcasting and never make any offers, never do any call to actions, never tell them to go anywhere and do anything during your broadcast, because you can provide tons of valuable content for people, but until you move them to the list, until you get them to move towards something else, you're just literally blowing hot air.
Well, after my own heart. Yeah, I actually have, and actually, I might have stolen this from you. So I have been working with clients that are doing Facebook Live, and we'll create a landing page that says, thank you for joining me live on Facebook, you know, for the report that I mentioned, for the video series I mentioned, whatever, you know, go here. But the landing page actually refers to where they came from, specifically with video. And conversions have skyrocketed doing that because people, they understand that actually ask them to take is a definite cohesiveness to, they know I came from Facebook, and people just think that's cool. It's not that hard because you're giving out a link that, you know, mine is like significantly successful / Facebook Live, I think, you know, like it's not that difficult, but people really like that. I think it was you and I that talked about that. I don't remember, but it works really well to actually use that call to action and then tie the page you send them to wherever they came from.
Yeah, it's really important to know where your traffic's coming from. That's another thing that, like, how many people are coming from your broadcast and what platform? Like, I have some clients who broadcast on a bunch of different platforms, and I'm like, well, what's your top producer? And they kind of look at me like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm like, what's your numbers? I'm like, how many people are watching your broadcast at each place? They can tell me that because it shows up on their screen. And I'm like, great, what's your percentage of opt-ins? I don't know. That's not the place that you want
about digital marketing is that everything's trackable. Like I came from a traditional marketing background of newspaper and radio. And one of the things that drove me crazy was trying to convince people that it worked when I had no hard numbers to prove that it does. And what's awesome about digital is you can track everything from every angle that you possibly can imagine. You can get the numbers.
Oh yeah. And then by the way, you can retarget them again and again and again.
How smart you are.
The first time, they will by the 100th time. I promise.
Let's see. I don't know why people are messaging me instead of. Hold on.
Instead of putting it in.
I think it's confusing because we haven't done it with video before. Let's see. This one is. Do you have any idea on the timeline of when Facebook Live will allow 2 people or how it will work?
They just put out a notice last week where they're going to allow 2 people at a time, so you can bump people in and out, kind of like Blab-ish style, I'm going to assume. But they did not say when. They said they were testing it. So we don't know.
So yeah, with Facebook, that could be tomorrow or it could be 3 months from now.
I would assume that if they're telling us that they're going to be ready to do that, because I think that you're going to see, my prediction would be Facebook really wants to push the video platform because they're doing a whole bunch of stuff to make that happen. So I think you're going to see things faster. Plus Facebook opened up their API, meaning the programming for Facebook Live is now open for other programmers to look at, which allows people to create third-party apps to make Facebook Live work better, which is really good news for us and exciting because once it becomes an open marketplace like that, it means that things get developed faster and with more ingenuity and creativity than just if Facebook was doing it all alone.
Yes, that's why I like Android. Well, we're coming up. We have about 7 minutes left. So I know that you put out something for us when I actually messed up the timing last week.
Yes,
and I didn't want to tell. What did you say?
The Courageous on Camera.
Oh, yes, yes.
A 5-day challenge.
If you want to post that link again out, guys, Dan and I went and did a VIP day with Jessica and her husband, and I'm going to post out a couple of our videos for you guys to see and enjoy. But if you need help with video, Jessica has a bunch of different offerings that I would highly encourage you guys to get involved with when it comes to video. I don't know anybody who knows her stuff better. The other thing too is that she understands marketing. So a lot of times you'll hear people that talk about video marketing, but they don't understand the marketing part. They might be able to shoot a killer video, but they don't really know what to tell you to do with it after you get it shot. So Jessica's background plugs in really well to almost everybody that's in the group that I have worked with or that has done calls with me could really benefit from what Jessica has to offer. So get her 5-day challenge. And if you still want to do some video stuff, definitely get in touch with her. She's in the group, and you also have a group. Is it just for women?
No, actually, it's really funny. It started out as just for women because I wanted to support us girls who are shy about camera, because I once was too, believe it or not. And I started out with a group called She Broadcasts, and believe it or not, like 30-something% of my group is men. So.
Oh, wow. Okay, well, yeah, if you want to share a link to that too, because I know you do a lot of valuable stuff in there too. So
I actually have something new that just launched on Saturday that I'd love to share with you guys as well. It's my Facebook Live cheat sheet, which is my exact process that I use here every time I go live, what I do before, during, and after my broadcasts.
Awesome. Yeah, that would be really helpful. Yeah, anything you want to promote. I know that you do business with integrity, and we're on the same page with that. So I'm happy to refer people to you. It's not always the case. Everything that's been going on lately, that's not always the case. So if you guys have any more questions, I'm going to leave the thread up for a little while. So Jessica, if you have time maybe later today to go back and just check it, I'll close the thread off later on tonight so that you don't keep getting notifications. But whatever you want to post on there, and then any additional questions we can go back and answer And yeah, thank you so much for being on. And yeah, post a link to your group too, so people can find you there as well.
Awesome sauce. Thanks so much, guys.
Thanks, Jessica.
Bye.